One day, in a peaceful monastery nestled in the mountains, a young monk named Haru wrestled with deep fears that gnawed at his heart. Haru had always dreamed of traveling beyond the monastery's serene walls, exploring the world, and sharing the wisdom of Zen with others. Yet his fear of the unknown kept him anchored in place. The thought of failure, rejection, or not being good enough paralyzed him. Though he often meditated on overcoming these fears, they still held a tight grip on his soul. One morning, after a restless night filled with doubt, Haru decided to approach the wise Zen master, Akio, who was known for his simple yet profound teachings. Haru bowed deeply and asked, "Master, how can I overcome my fear? It feels like a shadow that follows me, always pulling me back when I try to move forward." Master Akio looked at him with kind, knowing eyes and said, "Haru, fear is a natural part of life. To overcome it, you must first understand it. Today I have a task for you. Go into the garden and spend the day observing the caterpillar on the silk tree. Watch it closely and return to me at sunset." Though puzzled by the assignment, Haru knew better than to question the master's wisdom. With a silent bow, he walked toward the monastery garden. Under the dappled sunlight, he found the caterpillar crawling slowly on a branch. Haru settled himself nearby, his mind still buzzing with questions. How could watching a caterpillar help him understand his fear? As the hours passed, Haru observed the caterpillar's patient movements. It seemed unhurried, inching along, oblivious to the world around it. Eventually, the caterpillar came to a stop and began spinning a cocoon. Haru's curiosity was piqued as he watched this transformation unfold. What seemed like an ordinary creature was now enveloping itself in a silky shroud, preparing for something greater. The afternoon sun warmed Haru's back as he continued his vigil. His mind began to settle, and as he watched the caterpillar's transformation, he started reflecting on his fears. The caterpillar did not resist the changes it was undergoing. It did not cling to the safety of its former self, nor did it shy away from the unknown journey ahead. Haru realized that the caterpillar did not know what it would become, yet it embraced the process without hesitation. It surrendered to the transformation, trusting the natural course of life. As the day wore on, Haru's thoughts deepened. His fears, which once seemed impossible, now appeared like the cocoon, a temporary enclosure, a necessary part of growth. Just as the caterpillar could not become a butterfly without first retreating into the darkness of the cocoon, Haru understood that he could not achieve his dreams without stepping into the unknown. Fear was not an obstacle to be avoided, but a necessary phase of transformation. By sunset, Haru watched as the cocoon began to stir. Slowly, the butterfly emerged, its delicate wings still wet and fragile. Haru held his breath, mesmerized by the sight. The butterfly stretched its wings, fanning them in the breeze, and after a few tentative moments, it took flight, soaring into the sky with grace and freedom. Seeing the butterfly's transformation filled Haru with awe and a newfound sense of clarity. The lesson was simple yet profound. Just as the caterpillar had to shed its former self to become something greater, he also needed to confront his fears to evolve into the person he aspired to be. With this realization, Haru returned to the monastery, where Master Akio awaited him in the courtyard. As Haru bowed before the master, his heart was lighter, his spirit clearer. "Master," Haru said softly, "I understand now." The caterpillar embraced its transformation without fear, knowing that change was inevitable. "I see that I too must face my fears if I am to grow and fulfill my dreams." Master Akio smiled gently, nodding in approval. "Fear is a part of every journey, Haru. It is not there to stop you, but to test your resolve. Much like the butterfly, you must go through the darkness of the cocoon to find your wings. Transformation requires leaving behind the safety of what is familiar and stepping into the unknown." Haru listened intently as the master continued. "Do not fear your fears, for they are your greatest teachers. They reveal where you are holding back and show you the areas of your life where growth is most needed. When you confront your fears, you break free from the limitations that bind you, and only then can you soar, like the butterfly, with newfound strength and freedom. The young monk felt a wave of peace wash over him. His fears, which had once seemed like heavy chains, now felt more like a gateway to the life he wished to lead. He realized that his fears were not barriers to his dreams, but stepping stones to help him grow stronger with each step. As Haru left the courtyard, he looked out at the mountains with renewed determination. He knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but the lesson of the caterpillar and the butterfly had given him the courage to move forward. He understood that true freedom came from embracing fear, not running from it. In the following days, Haru began to take small steps toward his dream of traveling and teaching. Each step was met with uncertainty, but instead of letting fear control him, he welcomed it as part of the process. He reminded himself of the caterpillar's journey, of the darkness before the butterfly could emerge. With time, Haru's confidence grew, and he found himself standing at the edge of the monastery, ready to take the first step into the wider world. Looking back at the place that had been his home for so many years, he whispered a silent thank you to Master Akio and the little caterpillar that had taught him such a profound lesson. The Zen master's final words echoed in his mind. To overcome fear is to liberate yourself. Only by facing what you fear most can you truly transform. In the end, Haru understood that fear was not something to be feared but embraced. It was part of his journey, guiding him toward his true self. And just like the butterfly, he was ready to spread his wings and fly. Reflection. Embracing fear as part of the journey leads to profound personal growth. Fear tests our courage, but it also reveals our potential. Like the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, we must step out of our comfort zone to grow. Each time we face our fears, we break free from the chains that hold us back, and in doing so, we discover the strength to become who we are truly meant to be.